Have you ever bought something to make yourself feel better? Well, you are not alone. So many people turn to shopping to help improve their moods or relieve stress. However, stress shopping and retail therapy can turn into a bad habit. So, what happens when it goes too far? Well, keep watching. We're going to talk about how to prevent stress shopping from impacting your finances. Hey everyone, my name is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance. I'm also the author of the best-selling Clever Girl Finance book series and my most recent book, Choosing to Prosper. Welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So let's start by talking about what stress shopping is. Basically, stress shopping is a habit that you build over time where you leverage shopping as a way to relieve stress or improve your mood. It is essentially the definition of retail therapy, and short term, it can actually have a positive effect on relieving the stress and improving your mood. So, for example, imagine you've had a really hectic day at work, your boss has been really difficult to work with, you've been feeling stressed and overwhelmed, you are leaving work feeling just really angry and upset. And on your drive home, you drive by the mall or a really nice boutique and you spot an item that you like. You purchase this item, you get home, you pull it out of the bag, and then you smile because it has, in the short term, lifted your mood and you feel better about things, even though you've had a really hectic and stressful day. So then that leads to the question about retail therapy and does it really work? Because in the example I just mentioned, you've brought out the dress, you've brought out the item that you bought after a hectic day, and you smile because you feel happy. So does retail therapy really work? Well, yes, but to a certain extent. And this is because shopping and getting something that you like in that moment can give you a temporary positive boost to your mood. You feel happy, you feel excited, you feel, just light at heart about, this item that you have purchased. Your brain is stimulated in a good way in that moment because of your purchase. And so, yes, as I mentioned, retail therapy can work, but sometimes it's only temporary. Keep in mind that shopping and retail therapy can actually be a really big form of distraction because when you get into the store, sometimes there are scents being used to distract you from your life. There is music being played to lift your spirit and let you forget about what's bothering you outside in the parking lot. And so there are all these tactics that are used to just make you feel better and put you in a better mood to shop, right? People don't typically go shopping when they're angry. And even if they are angry, once they get into the store and they hear the music, they smell the good scents, they feel the ambience, they tend to feel better and are more likely to spend money. That said, even though retail therapy can work temporarily, this does not mean that you want to use this as a form of stress relief. And every time you feel upset, you have a difficult day, you head into the mall, to the stores, and whip out your credit or debit card and make a purchase because this ties into your finances because you're actually spending money. And so when it comes to stress shopping and retail therapy, because of the impulse to spend, it can actually be detrimental to your finances. It's one thing to treat yourself from time to time. Occasionally, you've built the spending into your budget. That's great. Go shop, get something you love. But it's a completely different thing when you're spending unplanned, your impulse spending out of emotion. And as a result, you're racking up debt and putting yourself into even more financial distress. And as a result, that's turning into emotional and mental distress as well. So let's talk about signs of a stress shopping problem because it's really important to identify. So you may have a stress shopping problem if you rely on shopping as your primary way to deal with negative emotions like stress or anxiety. Shopping sprees have affected your finances, including racking up credit card debt and not being able to save money. You feel guilty after the initial high from shopping binges. You try to hide your purchases or lie about how much you've spent, or your shopping habits are straining your relationships. So now that you have an idea of how to identify a stress shopping problem, let's talk about how to tackle it. Number one, and the easiest thing to do is make shopping less accessible, especially that online shopping. So start by unsubscribing from the retailer emails. Delete your credit card information that you have saved on the various websites. When it comes to in-person shopping, if you find yourself constantly stopping at the mall on your way to work or a certain destination, take a different route. Or you can decide just to have enough cash in your wallet where you're able to spend more than what you have planned to spend right, budgeted for that day. So you really want to make shopping less accessible. Unfollow those accounts on social media, on YouTube that are constantly compelling you or driving you to go out and impulse spend. And this does not have to be permanent. And this is not because you do not like the brands, you do not like the influencers or the people. It has nothing to do with that. Instead, this is you trying to take control of that constant urge to shop and use it as a relief for stress or anxiety. Number two, spend less time in stores. The less time you are in a store, the less likely you are to shop. So avoid going to the mall. Avoid walking down that street near your house that has all those pretty boutiques. If you happen to be in a store with a friend or family member, tell them you'll meet them outside when they're done. The less time you spend in the store, the less likely you are to shop. Number three, set a shopping budget and stick to it. So again, I'm not here to tell you never to shop. You cannot shop. That is not what we do here at Clever Wealth Finance. We're all about mindfulness and planning things within reason so that we don't cause ourselves further stress or anxiety down the line. So set that shopping budget for yourself. Open up a guilt-free account where you put a little bit of money when you get paid into this account, assuming that it's not impacting any of your other financial goals or obligations. And then when you feel that urge to spend money, right? When you feel like there's something that you want to buy, you can leverage the money in this account and know that when that account is down, you have to replenish it and wait before you go shopping again the next time. Number four, find and address your shopping triggers. So are there certain situations or people that cause you to feel stress or anxiety or just prompt you to impulse spend when you did not plan for it? Could it be a certain friend you hang out with, a family member you hang out with? Could it be watching certain influencers on social media? Could it be every time you have negative feedback from your boss? What are the triggers? Start to pay attention, right? Maybe you have a notebook with you for a few weeks, and every time you feel that impulse to go stress shopping, just write down where you were emotionally and mentally so you can start to identify what is triggering you. And then once you know what your triggers are, you can create a strategy to avoid those triggers. It could be spending less time with certain people, not watching certain influencers anymore. So that, again, it's not about them, it's about you being able to tackle this stress shopping problem. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button below and subscribe to this channel. Stop by our website, clevergirlfinance.com. We have over 40 plus completely free worksheets and over 30 plus completely free courses. We have so many amazing resources available to you as you work on your financial journey. And please check out the Clever Girls Know podcast. You can listen to this podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast episodes. We have a ton of fun. I interview a variety of different guests on all kinds of topics on the podcast. We talk about finances, business, motherhood, life, general wellness, and so much more. So please stop by. Okay, let's get back to the video. Number five, use the 24-hour rule. So even if you find yourself in a store where you are stressed, decide with intention that you're not going to buy anything unless you have thought about it for at least 24 hours. And what happens is that after the 24 hours have passed and you have calmed down a little bit, you're feeling a bit better, you're less likely to buy that item, or you're more likely to be more objective as to if you really wanted that item in the first place. Number six, change your environment, right? So a lot of times people find themselves outside when they're stressed, at the mall when they're stressed, spending time away from their homes when they're stressed, right? That can happen sometimes, but it could really be because maybe your home is not inviting enough. So maybe as opposed to spending the energy out walking the mall, you spend it decluttering your home, tidying up your house, hanging up some nice pictures, organizing things so that you create this welcoming and, just safe space where you can enjoy being there, and it can be a zone where you don't allow stress and anxiety to take over, or a zone where you feel relieved from stress and anxiety when you're at home. So that could be one way to help you manage stress shopping, is by changing your current environment, right? And if it is certain people in your environment that are causing you to feel stress and anxiety, it could be spending less time with those people so that you can work through the emotions of that stress, of that anxiety, without having to just immediately go and find something to buy. So now that we've talked about ways to tackle stress shopping, let's talk about some fun shopping alternatives, right? So as opposed to heading straight to the mall or heading straight to the website, here are some other things that you can do to help you kind of dissipate that feeling of wanting to shop. So one thing I already mentioned is decluttering. So you can declutter your home and make this an exercise where you go through your kitchen cabinets, go through your closets, go through your kids' items, go through your garage, and just bring up things that you have but no longer need, that you can sell to bring in extra cash, that you can donate to help somebody, that you can barter with a friend or family member, and just use that time to do something productive at home. And that's decluttering. You can also get into an exercise routine. So anytime you feel that stress or anxiety coming on after a difficult day at work, come home and do a workout. Go to the gym and do a workout. Exercise can make you feel so much better, 10 times better than shopping many times. And that is just a great way to do something different than spending money. You could also pick up a new hobby like reading, gardening, cooking, baking, design, styling, whatever it is that you have been thinking about. When you feel stressed, could be a great time to explore it and just use that energy in other ways. And then you can also start a gratitude journal, right? A lot of times when we're feeling stressed, lack mentality starts to take over, scarcity mindset starts to come into play. But if we can just pause and remind ourselves of all the blessings that we have, all the great things that are happening to us in our lives, it can help to dissipate that feeling of dissatisfaction and minimize that feeling of stress in that moment. So just write down the things that make you happy, the things that you're grateful for, the blessings that you have. And by focusing on those good things, you're distracted from the negativity and the stress that's happening. And in turn, you will feel better. And then finally, you can think about participating in a savings challenge. You can do it by yourself or with friends or family, where as opposed to shopping, every time you feel the urge to shop, you put the money in a savings jar, or you tell a friend and you put the money in a jar that you're going to put towards a charitable donation, or put towards paying down debt, or put towards investing. And you can challenge yourself this way to see how much you can save over a specific period of time by not shopping. So as I mentioned earlier, there's nothing wrong with shopping, spending your money, treating yourself, doing things that you love to do, but you don't want to overdo it, and you don't want to let feeling stressed or anxiety lead that decision making to spending, right? Because the last thing you want is to start facing financial anxiety because of stress shopping, because of, for example, a bad day at work or a difficult boss. So you want to be very mindful as you are spending your money. Build your fund money into your budget. Leverage these alternative things to do instead of shopping as ways to minimize that stress shopping, decluttering, picking up a hobby, starting a gratitude journal, and all the other items I mentioned. These are such great ways to help you kind of, get a grip on that stress shopping and that anxiety that's causing you to go out and spend money that you don't need to spend. And when it comes to stress shopping, another great idea could be getting an accountability partner, someone that you just call and say, hey, I'm feeling stressed. I want to hit the mall. I want to go shopping, and I'm about to go to that online website. And they will kind of like, listen, here are other things you can do. Sometimes accountability can be the big difference in helping you stay on track. So have you found yourself stress shopping in the past? I have definitely done it in the past, and I have definitely had to take steps to tackle it. But how did you handle it? And what are you currently doing when you feel stressed or you're feeling anxious and you feel like you want to go out and spend money? Share in the comments below. I would love to know. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, tell your friends, your family, everyone about Clever Girl Finance. Stop by our website at clevergirlfinance.com. We have tons of epic and completely free courses to support you on your financial journey, and we would love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.